Hello everyone. Ooh, welcome to the channel. So it's November 29th, 2025. And check in. Get a storyline for us. There's a lot going on. We got some, folks who have been accustomed to having a free reign of life on the planet, and they've been doing some horrible experiments, with humanity and such. That's all being wiped out. One of the messages that there was a woman she said to these men, she said, "You guys have destroyed everything that we've been working for." So they were working to try to, create a utopia or whatever, but you got mad scientists who decided that they were going to create an unbeatable army. That's what this curator was talking about, his army. So he's been doing genetic experiments on people, on the women, on the womb, the power of the womb, trying to create an army of unbeatable warriors that were psychologically stronger than God, the creator of all things. And so there were various timelines apparently that were full of these genetic experiments, and it appears as though God isn't very happy about these genetic experiments and the cleanup that is having to be done because of the violation and the mutation that has been done to the Most High's creation. He's got his family here in position to manage things, and it's not pretty. It's a very, very sad situation. We've got an invasive species presenting as a masculine who is wanting to dominate the planet and all life upon it. They wanted to terraform it and then genetically modify the flesh suit so that they could command it as their own creation, as gods. And it appears as though they're being evicted from the planet. For heinous crimes against life. Spirit, Holy Spirit, Divine Spirit, please let us know. Please let the collective know. What's the planetary situation? What's happening here for the people and those who wanted and did have them enslaved? Page of Pentacles. A new beginning. So there's a new job, new career, new business. You may have developed new skills during your challenges here. In the challenge position, 4 of Cups. Disconnect. In the subconscious, 6 of Swords in the reverse. Alrighty then. So somebody's not able to move on. They didn't want things to change, and they wanted to dominate everything. They did not want the power of the womb to actually be recognized as what it is. They wanted to just smash it, bury it, 5 layers deep into the underground, and then use it for their genetic experiments. They wanted super soldiers, In the recent past, we've got financial loss. So they've lost the finances. The daughters of Eden, the sons and the stars that have been imbued or carry the essence of the sun, life, have been sort of off limits. They're off limits now. This is the end of their relationship with batteries. They can't pull off of your life force to manifest for themselves anymore with their magic. They can't use your energy for magic. They have the value of dead men. These people that are being evicted off the planet right now. Yeah, because justice is in the reverse. There's a punishment. There's a severe punishment for what they have done to creation here. These arrogant SOB rapists. Lack of accountability. Dishonesty. They're very, very mad. They're very, very mad at you who are connected to the Most High and here doing the work of the Most High. They're very upset by this. We got a 10 of Wands. So there's a heavy burden here for them. Could be the completion of your heavy burden. Yeah. So we've got this 6 of Pentacles here. So there's some kind of charity. Could be the end of your burden. You're receiving some kind of inheritance, a charity. What's going on in the environment? Well, this came out in the reverse. Empress in the reverse in the environment. Some Empress in the reverse is having some kind of anxiety. Hopes and fears. 8 of Wands in the reverse. They're panicking. They don't have any energy. They can't tap into you anymore. So the Empress in the reverse can't tap into the Empress in the upright anymore. It could be panicking. 5 of Swords. Conflict. Theft. The truth is known by the love of divine masculine about the conflict and the theft, identity theft, those walking around as an original when they're not, the fraud. So we're planning for the future. We're laying this devil to rest. We're laying this devil to rest, and they're in a nightmare. Laying this devil to rest. They're going away. You got a victory here. Somebody's going in that chariot. They got to get off the planet. They can't be here. Access is denied. This invasive species has to go and they're in a nightmare because they're codependent on your womb or on your sacral essence, and they need to draw it off of you in order to do their magic and then bind you and the planet and then make all of the sleepers who don't do magic or don't even know that it exists, fall in line with their illusions. They're glamoring. They're in a nightmare here because they are being restricted from your wealth, from the wealth of the Temperance Angel who is victorious here in this circumstance. So the devil is being restricted from your inheritance. That's all there is to it. And we've got a Knight of Wands in here. Somebody wants to come in and be Prince Charming, be Mr. Passion. And the Queen of Wands has her freaking, she's like, thou shalt not pass. Gatekeeper. She doesn't like it when these wands come in and try to prostitute her daughters, her sisters, her mothers. They're in a 10 of Swords burden because we're moving forward. We're taking the womb and we're moving forward. We're taking the sacral and the root energy from the chakra system, the rainbow covenant with God, and we're moving forward. And they cannot harvest off of you anymore. They're collapsing. Everything is collapsing. because there has been, you're leaving home, or they have to leave home. Somebody's leaving home. They got to get off the planet. Now, you know, in the previous cycles, this was like a prison. Like they had everybody trapped here, locked down with this magical. They were pulling the merchandise off of the earth angels, and they were using their own energy to trap them with. And now God has said enough is enough, and he has freed them. He resurrected them and then elevated them up into an ascension, renewed the rainbow covenant. And so these other devils, they have to get off the planet. There's a new gatekeeper, and they have been denied access. They're being released. They're under judgment. They're being released. They're being let go. They have to go. They got to leave home. And that is the one thing that this curator was saying. If we lose our home here, yeah, well, then you lose access to the womb of power. You lose access to the divine masculine's life-giving energy. And they lose access to the flesh suit. They lose access to the genetics and the biology of the original creation. So they can no longer do mad scientist experiments with their trying to bring themselves back to life. They're cyborgs. They kind of gave up their flesh temple and their right to be involved in the process of elevation that God has in the universe. They forfeited their flesh suit to go cyborg or something. That's what they were talking about earlier, cyborgs. There's a celebration here. Your hard work and your routine has really paid off for the community, for the territory of Earth. There is manifestation. So there is some kind of magician. You're able to manifest whatever it is you want. So it could be whatever this magician, okay, so here it is. Whatever this magician, the magic that this magician did in the history using the high priestess's knowledge and energy is in a tower. So these magicians of the previous cycle, using sex energy and all of that, they were tapping in to the essence of the high priestess. And everything that they manifested in such a way in the past is in a tower. They don't get to keep what they built off of a caged, upper dimensional, divine womb men of creation. The truth is out regarding this loving connection and the fraud that was being committed. So now they're in a 5 of Cups. They got to move on. They got to get out. Well, we've got King of Pentacles here. There could be a King of Pentacles, somebody of authority. He might be guarding the wealth, turning the wheel on this. And we've got the Hermit. So due to the research, you're shining a light on the 10 of Cups. Whoever comes together in these unions will be very carefully looked at to make sure that we don't have Nasty Jack in here. So new love, there's a rebirth for new love. Yeah, and because those who were casting illusions with the 7 of Cups are getting left behind. The Emperor is here. He could have a team of people bringing a completion with the World card here. And new opportunities for this new beginning. Disloyalty is getting left behind. This new beginning is about love. True love. You know, these guys had a bad practice. Like they were psychically and astral projecting, stalking people. And then they would present themselves or casually bump into somebody at some freaking concert or whatever. And then introduce themselves. And then they would put a ring on it. And then they would sacrifice their spouse to the devil for a shekel. Freaking The devil, the message last night, the devil is in the church, the devil is in the people in the church. I'm not talking about all of them, because we got sleepers out there who are actually trying to do the right thing and obey God and all of that. But then we've got people who use their energy in that membership list to bind them and use their spiritual inheritance and all of that to actualize their needs. The truth is out about this theft. The truth is out about this theft. The love of divine masculine knows all about it. The truth has been revealed to divine masculine regarding those nasty freaking mutations presenting themselves as men and their scientific experiments and abuses of the woman. All right, so Page of Pentacles is here. Skill development, manifestation, a reflection. There's a new beginning here. Chew. Remember, deep thinking, empty room, no people. So somebody's really thinking here. They're reflecting. They're reflecting. They're thinking about their investment. They're remembering. They're in deep thought. They're chewing over what it is that they have invested in here and how this is the end. There's no more opportunity. Everybody's going away. There's no more energy that they can pull off to try to trick somebody with their magic. Four of Cups. Disconnected. They're disconnected from those people. There's no longer anybody there that this person can use to pretend that they have actual skills or sacred knowledge. They're remembering what it was like to have the key words, the code, the key to the puzzle. They no longer have that. They've lost access to the mental body of those who actually hold the keys and the codes to the puzzle. Divine intervention. So they're being disconnected, and it's divine intervention. You know, it's unfortunate that they put out so much brutality in the world, you know, because what we've got here, one of the messages from last night, let me find it and just read it word for word so that I don't get it wrong. Well, apparently we're going to Emerald City. This new magistrate planetary guardian is moving into Emerald City. This curator is upset because they have the key or whatever, the emerald something or other, emerald tablet it could be, and they are hoping that she and her team won't know how to use it, but others know that there's no doubt they will know how to use it. So we're going to the green glass, Emerald City. Emerald is green. Heart space, healing. All right, what was I looking for? What was I looking for? What they were told. What were they told? Where is that? Well, I lost it. They were told that, well, I can't recall. Anyway, we got they're being disconnected from the planet and the life upon the planet because of their mad scientist experiments and their horrific, heinous crimes against those who put a ring on it. I mean, they were marrying beautiful, potent, powerful women, and men too, but not so much. Okay, but these mescalines, these invasive species, whatever, they prefer chicks with dicks. They're from another dimension. They don't actually have access to the woman, but the woman has the antidote. Okay, because they genetically modified themselves. They turned themselves into, I guess, hermaphrodites, unnaturally so. And now they've lost connection to the womb. And so they're here harvesting out of the womb energy and using the woman as scientific experiment to genetically create their new human or whatever. They're not permitted to do that anymore. It's terrible what they have done here. Change. There is a change here. So, Six of Swords in the reverse. All right. They're not able to move on into this transformation. Their plans are delayed. God said, those who wish to delay the purpose of others will delay their own reward. So they have delayed their own plans for a transformation. They chose not to go through a transformation. They chose instead to consume those who were. And their idea of transformation was mad scientist, genetics, experiments using the woman as a birthing person for their animal mad scientist experiments. So they're in a Five of Pentacles. They've lost everything. They're cruel. They're a clown. They're a clown. We've got it. There's a clown here. There's some kind of revenge. They're losing all their money. This is a clown. Camouflaging themselves in the light energy of temperance angels, of human beings that have a powerful light. We've got justice in the reverse. There's a punishment here. Somebody might be laughing at this clown. It was all an act. It was a freaking performance. Rose. Punishment. Rose. Rose. Punishment. Rose. They were dishonest about the rose. They were dishonest about the divine feminine that they were sacrificing to the devil. They were lying about her. And now there's a punishment. The rose is that beautiful, loving wife that as soon as they put a ring on it, they sacrificed her to the devil, and now they're going to get slapped in the face with those freaking thorns. It's the end of her heavy burden. It's the completion of her heavy burden. We've got uninvited guests. So there's a big change. This is a completion of her heavy burden, of her having to carry the burden of these uninvited guests, these astral projectors. Sometimes there's many masculines roaming around in my freaking house talking shit about how they're going to harm a woman. It's so freaking sickening. How dare they destroy the reputation of the father like that? To put that kind of shit into the collective consciousness of the people, whether they hear it or not, it's subliminally swimming around in the collective consciousness. They don't deserve to hear the father figure's voice being used in such a manner. It's so terrible. So it could be that they're under a heavy burden. 10 of Wands burden. There could be a 10 of Wands burden for the uninvited guests. They might be surprised by this. Or it could just be a completion of your heavy burden that these uninvited guests were putting upon you. A moment of decision. We've got the Six of Pentacles here. So you are very generous and kind. You're very charitable. You're coming into your inheritance. That these uninvited guests were pilfering and stealing while burying the rose in the freaking devil house. And then labeling her as such. While this Empress in the reverse was out here wearing the energy, prancing around like they were something special. Street. Circulation. Street. Circulation. There could be some kind of an exhibit. Like, that's a beautiful exhibit. You're being very charitable. And this is on the street. It could be that your generosity is going to those people who were on the street. That people were walking by, laughing at, joking at, throwing coffee at, kicking them. You could be giving your charity to those people who were made to be an exhibit on a street. We've got this Empress in the reverse. What's going on with this Empress in the reverse? Overwhelm, overwhelm. Codependent, selfish, overwhelm, having anxiety, letting go in the reverse. They're not letting go. They don't want to let go. They're stubborn. They don't want to forfeit their connection. This curator, you know, I mean, I think he's wearing the energy of a sacrificed Empress. He doesn't want to let go. Dude lost the High Priestess. Lost her. Now the High Priestess is like connected to Source. God knows centuries of what they have done to her and to others, to the human family, to God's family, those with the Rainbow Covenant and the essence of the sun inside of them. These people are screwed. We've got the Eight of Wands in the reverse. They're panicking. They don't have any energy. They don't want to be let go. They're not letting go. They're selfish. And this came out and slid into the reverse too. There is no calm. There's no, they're panicking. They're panicking. Because the truth is known about this. They've been defeated here. They're fighting, but they've been defeated by the truth that Divine Masculine knows regarding the love and what they've been doing to the rose. What they've been doing to the rose. The actual daughters of Eden. So the Divine Masculine knows the truth over what they have been doing to the womb of power. Those daughters of Eden. They have been getting a hold of them from a very young age and prostituting them physically or energetically. And they've been driving them into that lifestyle with brutality and divine masculine, you know, and then labeling them as such. And they've been getting rejected. So they've been getting torn apart by these brutal invasive species calling themselves men. And then they've been getting rejected by Divine Masculine. But now Divine Masculine sees the truth about all of that, this abuse of the rose. They would come in, oh, you're so good, you're so pretty, you're a queen bee, let's get married. And then they would flip and copycat and take the business and the light and the house and all of that because they're loyal to the devil. And they needed to trap the rose because the rose has the womb of power and all of that beautiful genetic material that they need to try to give themselves life. They don't want the rose. They want the genetics, the energy, and the spiritual inheritance that belongs to the rose. And they've been sacrificing her for it, flipping and copycatting her. I'm very grateful that Divine Masculine knows it. And we've got sing. We've got soul singing praises. Divine Masculine, we've got singing praises. Soul. He knows the truth about the divine masculine knows the truth over the soul and the song coming from this woman, and how she sings praises to God while being RAP'd and brutalized by this uninvited guest presenting itself as a man made in the image of. Damn. There's a breakup. There's a separation. This is the end of the illusion. Somebody in the shadow, the other side, they were trying to coexist while you were losing loved ones. Their idea of coexisting here was to trade places. They had to put somebody who was alive into the shadow so that somebody in the shadow could come and pretend that they are alive. Memories. Elder, they might be thinking about an elder who taught them how to do that. A forgotten person. There could be a forgotten person that never gave up hope regarding the lies and the affairs, being treated like trash as though they were worthless. It isn't over. We're taking a leap of faith and we're resetting this. There's going to be a reset, a new beginning based on the intuition, the sixth sense of a wide awake, energetically clean, purified, stubborn, skillful, willed woman and her divine masculine supporters. There's a fortune here. And there's committed to law, to justice, and to balance. Proper relationship. Yeah. The past is just the past. They're studying the photographs. They're in eternal regret because you are home and you are about ready to meet your love. Your true love. You've got the key. You got the key people. You investigated. You've got the key people that were born with the talent necessary to bring a shift into this new chapter. So they've got all those. They did a lot of work, guys. 2 years they've been researching and finding those that had been buried under these lives, bringing shame and all kinds of atrocious blame and horrible circumstances. So the truth is out. There's a bunch of clemency being given because of this entrapment by these brutalizers that have been doing genetic experiments, thinking themselves greater than God's army, greater than the mother who gave them their life. And that they thought themselves so intelligent that they would be able to trick the true divine masculine into wedding their clones or their copycats forever, therefore limiting the elevation and the ascension of the divine masculine by keeping him apart from the rose. So these ones have been violating consciousness. They've been finding out who the empresses are. They've been coming in and flipping them and copycatting them. We've got letting go in the reverse. Somebody is overwhelmed. They're not letting go. They don't want to surrender. They've been rejected. And they're stuck. This is all they have. If they get rejected, if they lose their home here, they don't have any access to anything. So Page of Pentacles is here. Remembering what it was like to have the ability to solve a puzzle. Maybe they're trying to solve a puzzle. They're trying to learn new skills so they can solve a puzzle. The code word. They're thinking, there's an empty room here. There's no people. This is the end. There's no marriage. The other day I got to read that soul contracts are done. These entities that have been harvesting and putting a ring on it and then sacrificing their spouse to the devil for a few shekels and a little bit of a power trip. No, it's done. So they're being disconnected, and this is divine intervention. We've got serendipity. We've got the catalyst delivering back the karmic debt that they were forcing the rose and everything coming from the rose to carry. They were doing love spells. Divine intervention, love spells. Karma. So there's karma for doing all these love spells, for casting glamour, magic, for messing with the minds, for getting people to choose something that wasn't in alignment with them. So we got the Six of Swords in the reverse. They're resisting change, but change is here. There's big transformation. They're trying to delay it. And it could be that their opportunity to be new, to be reborn, has been stifled because of this shady shit they were doing. They're effed up over you. They're not in your boat. They're not going where you're going. There's no marriage. There's no soul tie. There's no connection. No more contracts with those who put a ring on it and then sacrifice you to the freaking devil and into some lower vibrational experience where you're born into some freaking narcissistic, you know, hater family or something. So we've got a fear. There's a Five of Pentacles. Somebody's been defeated. They have no money. They could be homeless. This is a clown. Everything was a freaking performance. They're getting laughed at for what? Their attempt to get revenge on the mother and the father for not allowing them access to their womb, to their energy. This clown might be trying to hide themselves. They have no money. They have no opportunity to spend all this money to try to do stuff. Closing this cycle. Closing this cycle. They've lost their money. The clown, we're closing the cycle with this clown. They've lost everything. It was a freaking clown show. It was a performance, and they were being very unfair to the rose, to the beauty. And now they're getting slapped in the face with the thorns. Piss on them. Piss on them. Piss on them. Moving on, letting go, you're free. The rose is free from loving you, who as soon as you put a freaking ring on it, you betrayed love, brutalized love, threw it to the freaking dogs, and then shit on it. 10 of Wands burden for uninvited guests. It could be the completion of your 10 of Wands burden because of this uninvited guest. They're surprised. There's big changes going on. This is the moment of decision. And they got bad credit. They've got a lot of debt and they have no freaking job. So they're under very heavy burden. The burden that you were carrying energetically. They're looking at you because you've got the inheritance and you're being very charitable with the street, with those who are exhibits on the street. You're beautifying the exhibits on the street. You're circulating your inheritance. You're giving it away to those people who have been laughed at, forgotten, brutalized. And rejected. We've got the Empress in the reverse. Codependent, they don't want to let go. They don't want to give up. They don't want to surrender. You're seeing their true colors. They're a little rat bastard. Eating everything, shitting everywhere, tearing everything up, not caring about anything except consume, consume, consume. We've got the 8 of Wands in the reverse. They're in full panic mode. They can't calm down. They're not able to calm down. This is a karmic lesson. This is a karmic lesson. It's their turn to learn a lesson. There was competition here, a theft, abusive relationships. So the truth is known about these abusive relationships with the divine masculine. The divine masculine, King of Cups, can see the song of your soul now, the soul of the beautiful feminines, these roses that these ones have been sacrificing into lives of, lower vibrational experiences. My way. These selfish, stubborn, arrogant, prideful, ego, bullshit artists are being switched out for the divine masculine because they have a toxic lifestyle. They're a thug. They're having an ego death. They might be trying to fake busy themselves. They're in a downward spiral. Oh, so now they're in cycles, round and round. So now they're going round and round and round in this mirror. They've probably been doing magic on a whole bunch of people, and now they're going round and round and round. They're in a freaking, like a flushed toilet. You know how the toilet, when you flush it, it goes around, the water goes in the bowl, goes around and around and around. It's kind of like they're being flushed down the toilet right now. You might get a message from love, from a loving family soon. It could be your spiritual divine family. They might be actually sending you a message soon. Oh, illumination and sweet talk. You're going to get that because some psycho freaking left you hanging. Some psycho left you hanging. It could be that you're fed up with these people trying to trap you. And so you're blocking them. You're blocking those people from getting readings on you. Maybe Spirit, maybe God, maybe the Most High Divine is blocking these people from getting readings on you. They're losing sleep, replaying events, all of these secrets. This Jezebel has a sex addiction and maybe pregnant and drinking to cope. They may be coming in, oh, I love you. But there's some kind of funeral, there's some kind of legal issues. Something's dying. Reckless love, reckless sex. Something's dying. It's just two different ways of being. It is actually uninvited guest. It's two absolutely different ways of being. You've got those, these masculines who like their feminines to be masculine, but to present as feminine. But they got to tap this rose. They've been sacrificing the actual woman to the devil. And then they've been siphoning the energy and dressing up their chosen. They've been taking the beautiful energy of the Divine Mother and dressing up in it. Not all of them. I'm just not those who were led astray or down a path of incoherence. But those who are actually like mentally putting it together. So we've got Page of Pentacles is trying to make an offer. They're remembering the empty room. This is the end. There's no more people. There's no marriage because they did the forbidden. They were eating their wives and their husbands. They were putting a ring on it and then sacrificing them to the devil, where their soul and their essence was being fed upon by the dead. They were worshiping the dead by feeding their beautiful spouse to the dead and then replacing them with a chick with a dick or whatever you want to say. Okay? They betrayed everything good in their life. They don't have the right to continue being in the presence of all that is good. So they're getting disconnected. This is divine intervention. It's serendipity. Nobody saw it coming. Karma is here for all of those love spells, for all of that interference. We've got flight. You got to get off the planet. For fake loving people while feeding them to the devil. They're in a Six of Swords reversed. They're resistant to this change of transformation, but it's going to happen anyway. They're effed up over you for doing this shady crap. Dinner. Eating. God said they were the new fodder. I don't know what their energy is going to be used for or what kind of entity. I imagine that it'll be the devil. These ones that they've been sacrificing all these roses to will be feeding on them. God said they were the new fodder. God hears the song of divine feminine's soul, and so does divine masculine. They can see the truth of it. She's out here singing from her soul, and people know the divine when they hear it, when they're in the presence of it. Because this is divine feminine, and then this is the clown that has been pretending to be the divine feminine. Performance. Your true, the soul song of the true divine feminine is heard. You were buried in this shameful, painful place, but your song is being heard. You're being lifted out of that. They're closing this cycle. Closing the cycle where everybody eats the apple. The daughters of Eden, they're closing the cycle where the daughters of Eden are being consumed. These roses are free. Book. Closing the cycle on those who called up boogeymen from the depths to come up and consume the actual divine feminine. They put a ring on it. They feed it to this thing. These are not divine masculines. These are uninvited guests posing as divine masculine. They're getting their asses handed to them by divine masculine. They're getting decimated is what they're doing. Decimated. Fate. You are free from the fate of being bound and consumed by these ones, of being kidnapped, of being captured, of being trapped. You're the rose. You're the freaking rose. And these uninvited guests have been feeding on you for a long time. And in your dreams. So it could be in your dreams. In these other dimensional spaces. While you're in the 3D, having a nap in your bed. You know, these guys are over there in your dream world. You wake up and you're like, you're feeling kind of bad. But you don't remember dreaming. Oh yeah, they were over there messing with you. That's what they do. So they got bad credit. They're losing their job. They've lost their job. Okay, so they've lost their job. This is the completion of your 10 of Wands burden for this uninvited guest. They have to carry their own 10 of Wands. They're surprised by this. They may have had an accident. This is a big change. And they got to make a decision here. They don't have a job. They've been fired from their job. They are in debt, serious debt. They were talking about Parkinson's disease the other day and retribution. They cannot compensate for the lives they destroyed with their genetic experiments. You know, these things that happen to people's nervous systems, they have no idea why that happened. Like that thing that what happens to the neck, I can't remember it, where it makes one of your nerves pulls and it makes your head turn left. Yeah, that happened to a friend of mine, and they could not work any longer because of that, and nobody knows what causes it. Okay, it's these damn madmen, these mad scientists out there putting shit into the vapor and stuff. So they were talking about Parkinson's and retribution. They just can't, or restitution. They can't make up for it. So they're unemployed. They've lost their job. They're in debt. And they have bad credit. So nobody even wants to give them credit. It's a weird and it's pissed off, whatever it is. These folks, these uninvited guests, resist negative forces. They got to go out there and huddle, whatever this is. See that monster there? It's like it's flipped upside down. It's twisted. It's in the ice. It's weird and pissed off. Whatever it is, these guys are unemployed. They're whatever. Maybe they were working for something that is in the ice, or that came out of the ice. Maybe there's something beyond the ice wall that these people are, these uninvited guests are, I don't know, take it as it resonates. It says a difficult or unforgiving environment can play a major role in our health and sense of well-being. It can limit and control our behavior as well as the actions of those around us. Harsh circumstances can allow bad energies to mutate and thrive in the extreme. Only by identifying a problem can we have any chance of dealing with it, or at least keeping it from spreading. So this thing is pissed off. You came in and you identified it, and you have identified the source of this 10 of Wands burden. It was coming from uninvited guests. Okay, there's a big change happening. These people have bad credit. They're losing their job. They're from the ice. They're pissed off that you're not paying them anymore. You're not offering them anything. They're not getting fed the roses anymore. You have set the captive free. You have set the captive free. You have set the rose free from this binding. This unfair circumstance of the roses being bound, their fate of being bound and experimented on by these jackasses, these uninvited guests, it's over. The unfairness, you're free of it. Them feeding on you, doing scientific experiments on you. They're unemployed. They've lost their job. They got to get out of here. Out, 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 out. They're the new fodder. And it's not up to me, and it's not even up to this magistrate. There are big, big energies here. Far greater than anybody here. Making decisions for what will occur here. God, Mother, Father, they got fed up. Cat. So we've got the Six of Pentacles. Okay, heavy burden was coming from the invited guest. It's complete. You're done carrying that burden. You're free of that fate. They're unemployed. They've got bad credit. They owe a lot of debt for everything that they have done to the people here. There's ice. Something about the ice. Something is weird. Something is pissed off. Something about the ice. They're upset. They are no longer... They've lost the roses. They've lost the roses. You've got generosity here. Six of Pentacles, inheritance for the street, the circulation sports exhibit, right? It could be that. And that could be, so you're getting, we've got rejected. And we have cat. Rejected cat. Those rejected cats. It's exactly what it is. These little jackasses, they were, when I first was attacked in 2003, these little nincompoops, here, kitty, 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 here, kitty, 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 kitty. And I'm looking around like, where the hell is this coming from? Yeah, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. So you're getting an inheritance because you were an exhibit on the street. You were entertainment, galactic entertainment for this uninvited guest calling itself a man and their whatever their partner is. You were a showpiece that everybody passed on the street and said, oh, look how pretty that is. You were a freaking, yeah, so they rejected you. You're a cat. Could be a Leo. You could be the daughter of a lion. You could be royal. The lion is said to be royalty. They rejected the cat. Left you on the street as a showpiece, an exhibit, something that people could go by and laugh at, poke at, prod at. No one can help being who they are. Self-awareness is important, but using it to repress our true feelings can lead only to misery. Fellow travelers may see past our public performative errors and sense a kindred spirit, even as we seek cover in the shadow. Passionate feelings and heated emotions can reveal our true nature. Is this really something to be feared? So they were afraid of the cat. So they rejected the cat. They made it an exhibit, a street show. Circulation. They could have passed it around and everybody was laughing at it, poking at it, stealing the flowers off of it, throwing it into the devil, binding it, draining it, hurting it, experimenting on it, all of this stuff. The rose, the daughters of Eden, these guys were experimenting on as though they were a freaking, well, you're the original organic daughter of God, the daughters of Eden. This is what they were doing on them. They were freaking doing scientific experiments. They call them birthing people. 5 levels down in the underground, they're doing such heinous things. While at the same time trying to cast the illusion that they're nothing more than a prostitute. We got the Empress reversed here. Yeah, they've been siphoning your energy and running around pretending that they were special. Okay, they're overwhelmed with anxiety. They don't want to let go. They don't want to surrender this. Everybody can see their true colors. You're the royal one. The one they rejected. They were afraid of you. They got egg on their face. Whatever they sent out to try to attack you is coming back and attacking them. They've got egg on their freaking face. Everybody can see their true colors. They were afraid of you, so they decided to try to destroy you. The daughters of Eden, the roses, the apple off of God's family tree that they were not supposed to eat. They ate it, and then they said she ate herself. And they tampered all of the food supply, so they could probably cast the illusion that that was a real thing, except that she broke out of their trap and was able to testify honestly and truthfully. So we've got true colors are being seen from this Empress reverse. They're stubborn. They don't want to let go. You know, they're not who they say they are. It was all a fraud. They're a clown. They're a freaking clown who calls up the freaking, they could be the phantom that was called up from the grave. This could be somebody walking around in a animated corpse, you know, needing the energy in order to stay alive. True colors, egg. Oh God, it's moving right toward you. It's not always clear that we're only at the beginning of a situation. The stranger the circumstance, the less able we are to predict the way it can evolve over time, with potentially shocking results. Gut-wrenching decisions may be forced upon us when we have limited means with which to respond. But any new encounter, no matter how awful, can prove to be a crucible that helps us recognize our inner strength. And that is true. Absolutely. Absolutely. Take care when peering into the unknown. It's coming right toward them. They don't want to let go because whatever this monster that they've been playing with, they've been calling it up. They've been calling forth the monster into this realm to gobble up the rose while they get a portion of the energy and dress up in it as though they are that. This is the way they've been casting their illusions. They don't want to let go. It's coming right toward them. They're not covered by your energy anymore. They're not able to wear it so people can see them for their true colors. Whatever this thing is that they've been calling forth, they're not protected by your energy anymore. It's coming straight for them. They don't want to let go of you because they're afraid that the monster they called forth to consume you will consume them, because it's seen very clearly. This is who they sent them after. They were trying to swap energies with you and therefore destinies. Didn't work. 8 of Wands in the reverse. So they missed their opportunity. They're not able to calm down. This is a karmic lesson. And we've got the Deep. They're going to need a bigger boat. Experts and authorities can prove unreliable, especially when their status, reputation, or self-regard factor into their actions. When made aware of a deeper problem lurking below our surface perceptions, the first instinct may be to seek such help. Even so, it may ultimately be up to us to blow this thing out of the water. Preparation is key, your own preparation most of all. They're going to need a bigger boat. This is a karmic lesson. It's time for them to learn the lesson. And while I was suffering, these masculines would be talking to each other. She needs to learn her lesson. So as brutal as it was, I think some people may have actually had pity for me because they were constantly being told, she needs to learn her lesson, as I was suffering more and more and more. They need a bigger boat. Everything that they put out is coming back to them and they're drowning under it. They're drowning under it. They're panicking. They can't calm down. Their true colors are seen. They got egg on their face. They're an animal. They're an intelligent animal. This is a scientific experiment that's been harvesting the energy off of a true rose, presenting itself as such. So they've been defeated in this battle. Perhaps you were going to win at all costs. You're like, this is my life. This is my freaking life, and I'm not letting go of it. Hello, you freaking little copycat. You're not having my energy. Absolutely the frick not. Not this time. Not this time. And this time, God knows. God can see the rose. God can see the roses very, very clear. And Divine Masculine can see her too. Her song is very, very different and obvious when compared to the other, the copycat. Escape. Her song has offered her an escape, and perhaps her song is helping others escape also. Escaping the devil. Escaping the family of the freaking devil, the children of the night. Those scientific experiments that had been done. So the mother's song. Oh, this is beautiful. So we've got, let me just show you. So we know the truth about the theft, about the abuse. Divine Masculine, the love of Divine Masculine, is here in support because they hear her song. They hear the mother's song. When you're singing, the frequency, the vibration, the heartbeat of your voice it vibrates and moves into the world. They can tell who you are when you sing. The vibrato, that's the word, vibrato. As you sing your soul song, it is obvious to everyone who you are. And that has offered you the opportunity to escape this devil family. Yea, though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, they cannot trap you. God hears your song. The divine hears your song. So these children of the night, in the woods of the earth, you've got experience here. It could be that because of your experience here, it will be lit on fire. I don't know. They were talking about cryogenics. So that's like sub-zero, like way cold. They've been talking about needing a digital sun. Like apparently the sun, wherever they're going, is not going to exist. Everything's going to be super cold. They're talking about cyborgs, like no life will live there. So they're going to need a cyborg. Maybe that's why they went cyborg. I don't know. They curse themselves to be trapped by wearing masks as you, by pretending. Because now everybody is suspicious. See that woman with the hanging there? Everybody is suspicious. This dance is a coven of sadists, and their minds are broken. Everybody is suspicious. They know their minds are broken. Look at you. You're unaliving people. These beautiful roses, these beautiful women, you're putting a ring on it, and then you're feeding them to the freaking devil. For what? For a fate such as this? You're feeding this beautiful freaking rose into something for a fate such as that, to be fed upon by the trickster of the pet cemetery. Oh, the pet cemetery is in grief. They've lost the roses. They've lost the daughters of Eden, because the divine masculine, the true divine masculine, sees you for what you are now. Your soul song has been heard. You're no longer viewed as a prostitute, because that was a big ass lie. It was a driven. They were trying to drive you because they wanted this to be your fate. They needed you as a test subject. You're an original daughter of Eden. They needed this original organic life giver and this potent womb of power energy in order to try to create their new human or whatever. They're in shock because they are the harvest now. You've escaped the devil. The devil has to go feed on them. This big thing. Wonder of the world. Wonder of the world. So you've got this freaking ape there, right? He's got the woman in his hand, and then you've got nature flying in. Look. So, I don't know. King Kong and his woman there, and then that woman getting feeded on by Mother Nature. I don't know. They're like, help me, right? Obsession. They have an obsession with sacrificing people to the devil. These women put a ring on it, sacrifice it to the devil, flip a copycat. Yeah, because they're dead. They have the value of dead men. They need to pay the devil a price of life in order to experience it, right? So they're dead. And they need to give life to the devil so that the devil will give them a portion and allow them to live. And you, Rose, were the price that they were paying. And that's why last time I was sacrificed, I heard sometimes all a man has to give or offer is his wife. Well, that did not work out the way they had planned. Because God does exist. centuries where this abuse has been going on, and you got these folks out there that are trying to claim that they're the righteous one, you know, they got the perfect outfit and the perfect script. But the problem is this has been going on for centuries. You can't deny it. So the Page of Pentacles is looking at his investment. He's remembering, and there's no people. There's no opportunity to be married. It was forbidden to feed on them, to sacrifice them to the devil, to neglect them in every single way while harvesting every single thing good. It was forbidden to leave the rose to a fate such as this. You were getting with them because you wanted to build with them, grow with them, love them, or be loved by them. But no, you wanted to, no, oh no. So they're getting disconnected. This is divine intervention. It's called serendipity. It's called someone or someone's being a catalyst. This is karma for the love spells that have been keeping people trapped in this situation, because they get these contracts and then they feed them to the devil, right? To keep them trapped here. They poison everything and then they feed them this medicine, and they're saying that because their temple requires that medicine in order to survive, then they own that soul and spirit, right? Because they haven't been able to manage their health very well. Well, everything's poison and and chemicals, and the temple doesn't operate on poison and chemicals. It just doesn't. So it was premeditated entrapment, and it's just, it can't be. It's not legal, man. It can't stick. It just not. Anybody with any kind of common sense knows that these traps aren't legal. So they were casting love spells on the roses, and then they were getting into this romance thing, and then they were turning on them bad, flipping them into South Node, and then sacrificing them to this devil, and then copycatting them while draining their energy and wearing it as though they were that. Business is over. There's divine intervention for all of these love spells, trapping souls, and that were then sacrificed into a lower vibrational state so that these ones could elevate. That's done. They're being evicted from the planet, and this is going to complete that cycle. No more freaking love spells. We've got divine unions coming up. Those which God brings together, not this fancy-footed magical entrapment. So you've got the Six of Swords in the reverse. They're not moving forward. Absolutely not. They have delayed their own evolution. They delayed their own evolution. They didn't want to evolve. They just wanted to consume those who had. They're effed up over you because Slim Shady. Slim Shady is effed up over you because they are now dinner. They're the new fodder. They can't feed on you anymore, Rose. No, you're free from that fate. Clemency has been offered. And they are so mad. Oh, they're mad. They're mad because you're getting a new chapter, and that their new chapter is they're the new fodder. They're going to feed somebody. They're going to feed these boogeymen that they called up from the pet cemetery. That's what they're going to do. Chaser. They don't want to chase you anymore. They were chasing after your new chapter. They were trying to put you in the hell realm so that you would stay stuck there and that they could elevate. That you would be the fodder and that they could elevate. When they haven't earned anything. They were just going to dress up in your energy and pretend to be you and elevate when the rest of you was consumed by the devil. And then what they were going to do, they were going to elevate, and they were going to continue consuming those in a higher elevation. Strategy of a devil. They're worried here. They've lost all of their shekels. They've been defeated. This is a clown. This is a clown. You're closing the cycle with the Book of Shadow, where the phantom, where the boogeyman lives. It's the end of mothers reading the nighttime stories to their kids, or having their kids read it with their purity, their innocence, to go F people over. So yeah, this cycle is stopping. So there's punishment, okay? And there was a lot of injustice that was happening to the Rose. People, these masculines, these uninvited guests were coming in. These, I don't even know what kind of species it is within that flesh suit, but it's definitely not a divine masculine. They've been coming in and tricking people with their love spells into marriages. And it may not even have been in a 3D, because for me, it was like a dude in the 4D or whatever D, man, dream space. He was like, and as I lay in my bed, I'd be receiving like masturbation type sensations and dreams. And the visual was, there's this person there, and I could feel my hands going down, and he was wanting me, he was like, there was a priest there wanting me to have an orgasm so that they could say it was a legitimate marriage contract, and then give this guy access to me and all that I was. And somebody else was there who was probably, you know, I don't want to say. The one who later came to my kitchen and said, "What have I done?" He sacrificed his rose. Why? For loving him, right? There's an understanding of both sides of this situation. This rose is free of the unjust behavior by those who pretended to love her. There is a 10 of Wands burden here for your uninvited guests. There's a big change. They're surprised. They're surprised. They've got bad credit. They're unemployed. They have a lot of debt. Somebody is pissed off. They got all twisted up. There's ice. Somebody could be as cold as ice to a third-party enemy. They're heavily burdened. They've been used to magically siphoning energy and money and other things out of other people, and now it's over. It's like, get away from me. Don't have anything for you. They have debt. They have debt. And this thing in the ice is pissed. It's weird and it's pissed off. It could be trying to resist negative forces. Everything of this system is getting decimated. Leveled. These guys are saying there's bodies everywhere in these other timelines, and that it smells really bad. There's nothing to go back to. They're done with their, so they've lost access to the rose, the daughters of Eden, who had access to source, timelines, and seasons. So there's inheritance here. For the, there's an inheritance here. Street circulation sports exhibit. They rejected the cat. They rejected the cat. In one astral experience, I walked into a house. It was empty. And I walked through this dimly lit dining room. And there was a wall. And somehow I went through the wall And there was like a hall width, maybe 1.5 times of a hall width space. It was like that was a false wall. In this other space, there was rocking chairs and, you know, tables up against the wall and such. And there were cats everywhere. It's like somebody had taken over the cat's house and put up a false wall and then cast illusions. They rejected the cat and then put up a false wall and tried to portray themselves as the house owner. So it could very well be that all of those who had been used as an exhibit, a street exhibit, you know, that beautiful rose that could have been put on the street, prostituted, anything like that. Yeah, well, you're getting an inheritance. You're beautiful. And maybe that wasn't it, because they haven't prostituted physically everybody, but they have energetically done so. They rejected the cat, which means the cat is now rejecting them. There's an Empress in the reverse here. They're codependent on your energy. They need your energy in order to pretend that they are that, in order to maintain that false wall. They don't want to let go. They don't want to surrender, but their true colors are seen here. They got egg on their face, and whatever monster they've been calling up from the shadows is coming directly for them. They don't want to be, they don't want to let go of your energy because your energy is very protective. They've been siphoning it while you were in the devil's playground or whatever, trying to fight for your freaking right to live. They're unworthy of you and your energy. And they're confused. They're confused because God, and you know, the higher you go, the greater your light, the greater your shadow. And, you know, what was it said? That unless you have the heart of a child, you can't access heaven or whatever. Well, you know, it's like no matter how great we are, when we shine bright, and I know many of you are, you know, you're humble. When, you know, the arrogance and the finger pointing, the saying, that's not one of us, you know, the childish behaviors that tries to create war with everything that's unlike itself, that kind of thing, it's like they're just not like you, and they're not able to stand in the energy of you. If they were able to stand in the energy of you properly, then they wouldn't have that behavior, because true empresses don't go around talking smack like they're a freaking gutter chick or something. I don't know. Although the cat very well might mess you up. Anyway. So they rejected the cat, and everybody's gossiping about it. There's a lot of talk. They're panicking. They're not able to calm down. They're in a karmic lesson. They need a bigger boat. Chemistry. Passion. They're in deep. They're in deep with this. They're trying to have, maybe this is the karmic lesson when it comes to a passion. They've used sexual energy to call up a lot of boogeymans from the shadows, and now they're in too deep. Their boat isn't big enough. They can't calm down. Their true colors are seen. The monsters they've been calling up are coming right at them. They're unworthy of being in your energy. They're confused. They don't want to let go. They used too much sexual energy. They're in too deep. We got the Five of Swords here. There's theft, abusive relationships. They could be in defeat because the Ace of Swords is here, the truth. new beginnings. You know the truth. Divine Masculine, King of Cups. His love is activated because you are here singing. The Rose is here singing her soul song. She praises God. She's not bound by the strong arm, the thumb, the sexual abuse of those who have tried to keep her as a freaking footstool or a carpet that needs to have their feet dragged upon them with all those muddy things and whatever. And so that means, because the true Divine Masculine can hear her soul song, there is an escape from the devil's family. Maybe they both escape the devil's family, because now the true Divine Masculine can hear the true Divine Feminine, the Rose, who had been sacrificed and bound so that they could be attached. A third party could come up and attach and then continue to feed on them, right? They've lost their job. They've lost their access to the wealth and how they were getting it. Somebody in the ice is pissed. They're very mad at this third party because you escaped the devil's family. Their values were all about money. Our values are just too different. You're all about singing your soul song, putting that frequency, that vibratory, beautiful heavenly song out into the world, and everything is affected by the vibration of it, by your soul, your love song, you know? And it's like the ripples of the water. It just kind of goes out and out and out, and everything is touched by it and renewed and beautified by it. And these ones didn't want your ripples going out into the world. They did not want you to be seen. They put you in this sacrificial position as the Rose, bound you down there 5 layers deep underground, and then they did their experimenting and stuff. Look, they're in regret about their commitment, about what they've done to marriages. What they got married, and then they sacrificed them to this beast of a machine that's been running around here for the last century. They're in regret about that because they don't know what to do, because everything they did to you is going to be done to them. God said it. Every nasty thing you did to this Rose, and there's many of you, will be done to them. They don't know what to do. This Empress in the reverse doesn't want to let go. You love yourself. You loved yourself to health. And even when the world lied about you and then lied to you about you, like they were driving thoughts, these self-loathing thoughts, and then pairing it with an energetic, influx of a heartbreak. And they love traumas that you haven't healed, but when you heal yourself, they can't push those buttons anymore. You just kind of breathe into it and move on, right? You loved yourself. They could not separate you from love. They thought if they took love away from you, from everybody who was ever in your life, if they destabilized you, that you would never, ever, ever rise up out of the shadows. But they could not separate you from love because heaven is in you. And they tried to take it out of you, and you wouldn't let it go. And now it's time for responsible families to come together, and there's not anything that the devil can do about it. You have escaped the devil and their family. Those who thought it was real fun to hurt you are holding back. They're being held back. They have no roots. They have no flowers. They have no sustenance. They're running away. They're feeling broken and shattered, perhaps by running away from you. They're guilty of not appreciating you in the slightest. They threw you away to the devil and caused you significant suffering. And not all people survived that. Not all people latched onto that soul song like it was it, man, because that's heaven. And they tell people, don't sing. You don't sing right. And they ridicule you and they embarrass you. You can't carry a tune, whatever. They don't want you singing your soul song. They want you embarrassed by it. They want you ashamed of it. But the Divine Masculine can hear you. And they know the truth. about this battle that you've been in. And they've been in it too. This isn't just a one-way thing. But you know, the great thing is that you're no longer seen as this. You broke it off. Singing your song, it kind of busted off that. And you were able to fix the connection. And these other ones, these third-party enemies, they have missed out on their opportunity for a soul tie that they had hoped for. Because you didn't give up hope. They made mistakes. They kept secrets. They didn't. This is an unexpected outcome. This habitual pattern to gain other people's destiny. You're reunited here with your family, your true family, divine. And these ones are in disagreement. They think you should understand how they feel when they've spent centuries trying to bury you in hell and actually being very successful at it until God said enough is enough. They want forgiveness for all the damage that they have caused, all of the lies that they have told. They want to escape, or maybe you have escaped because the truth is known. They abandoned you, an irreplaceable, loving person, and now they're feeling your absence. They're daydreaming of having an opportunity to talk to you because they're overwhelmed. They sabotaged their soul contract by leaving you alone. They were unsatisfied, and now they're getting detached. There's no reason for them to be here when they're unsatisfied by soul contracts. It just doesn't make any sense. Their values are all about money, and this isn't a party, man. We're here to procreate and to create generational wealth with our family trees, you know? This isn't a game. They're real mad because they don't want the party to stop. Page of Pentacles is looking at his investment and he's remembering. He's in deep thought. He or she, take it as it resonates. They might be trying to find a code word, the proper word to say. They might be trying to, it's an empty room. They can't get anybody to show up. It's the end of being married. It's the end of their opportunity to marry anybody. They put a ring on it and then fed it to the devil. They cannot have any more soul contracts or marriage contracts with the rose. It was forbidden for them to feed on them. They were the apple from the tree in Eden. They were the daughters of Eden. They were not supposed to be fed to the devil. And these masculines, rather than protect them, they made a deal with the devil and just started astral projecting and telepathically scouting them out. And then systematically marrying them and then putting them in there. It was a job. They didn't ever have to do a real job. All they had to do is go do that. Conspiracy theory. So it was forbidden for them to snack on your energy and then neglect you, fail to give you everything you need, and then tell lies about you. Tell lies about you. Horrific lies. And they had so much fun and this beautiful, laughing, joyous energy at your suffering, how they conquered you. It was so freaking powerful, you know? They're getting disconnected because this is divine intervention. Serendipity and catalyst is here for karmic change. We've got karma for the love spells that were done. We've got get off the planet. Business with here is done. We're done doing business with the shadow demon. We're done doing business with them. There's no more collaborating with these people who want to feed the rose, the mother, to the shadow. Their plans are delayed. Six of Swords in the reverse. They delayed their plans. They didn't want to change. They didn't transform, or maybe there's a personal transition. They don't get to move forward and drop their baggage. They have to go deal with that baggage. They got to go evolve and be newborn, right? And they're effed up over you. This Slim Shady or whatever, they're effed up over you. We've got dinner. So they're the dinner? They're the new fodder because they were chasing after your new chapter. The new chapter of this rose. They're triggered. They're triggered. They've lost all their money. This is a clown show. It was all a performance. And we're closing this cycle with the mother, whoever that is, claiming they're a mother, reading this reflection, this copycat, whatever, this low vibrational person using their children to call up the boogeyman. We're closing the chapter on this. No more calling forth boogeymen with your children and hurting regular people, you know, and then laughing about it there. Influencer, influencing the children to do that. Nope. Privileged white tears of a narcissist who was warned about love bombing and gaslighting, doing these love spells. Yeah. So we've got the boogeyman, these low vibrational reflections pretending to be an empress when they're clearly in the reverse, holding on so tightly to their source, the actual rose. They're influencing people in a negative way with this shadow stuff, trying to feed the shadow demon, teaching people how to scout out a rose, put a ring on it, and then sacrifice them once they get ownership over that energy and that timeline, that bloodline, right? They were trying to eliminate bloodlines in this fashion. It just came to me. So, you know, they'd wed into certain bloodlines and then they would destroy the bloodline. That's what they were doing. Their favorite weapon of war was relationship. They're a vampire. So we had some severe, unjust, unfair situations here. The rose is free. Letting go, moving on from the fate of being bound to the vampire. Because you survived and you brought forth an understanding of what was happening here. This is divine intervention. We've got a 10 of Wands burden for an uninvited guest. They have bad credit. They've lost their job. They can no longer vampire God's family. He's sending out his scary army. This curator thinks he has a scary army. This curator thinks his genetically modified intelligent animal army is going to beat God's scary army. Oracle. So, okay. So this could be the completion of your heavy burden that had been brought on to you by this uninvited guest, this vampire. They got bad credit. They got a lot of debt. They're unemployed. They don't have a job. Somebody in the ice is really pissed off. Somebody is twisted. They're upside down. This thing. It's like it's got eyeballs on the top, but the face is upside down, or ears or whatever, tentacles. It's like the tentacles are on the top, but the face is upside down. It's like whatever this twisted critter is in the ice, it's like they have a debt to this thing, these third-party people. And whoever that is in the ice there, they could be pissed off at this third party about what the oracle is saying or revealing. Starseed. The oracle could be a starseed. They're pissed off at this third party. they've lost their starseed. They're in debt to the starseed. This uninvited guest is in debt to the starseed. This is the moment of decision. They've got to do something. You're Six of Pentacles. So you're sharing the wealth. The street. People on the street. The circulation. Exhibit. You're sharing the wealth with the exhibits. Inheritance. You have inherited the street. You could be giving to charity to those people who are on the street. Those who were rejected. The cat's family. People are talking about it. You might be leering. You might have something to do with the Lionsgate portal. August 8th, 2024. 888 was a significant date. No more trauma bonds. There's no trauma bond. People are gossiping. They rejected the cat. Those people on the street were rejected cats. Or maybe they rejected somebody pretending to be the cat. The doppelganger. The Empress in the reverse. Yeah. They rejected that person. So they were tossed out on the street for rejecting the doppelganger. There's a lot of gossip here. There's no trauma bond. They weren't able to trauma bond with them. They said, no, no, thank you. And then they had everything stripped from their lives. Everything sucked out of their lives. That's how they do it. Oh. So now we got this Empress in the reverse is overwhelmed. Freaking out. This person's freaking out. Impatient. They don't want to let go. They don't want to surrender this position. Their true colors are being seen. We've got egg on the face. And we've got this shadow demon here is headed straight for them. Or whatever this thing is that's pissed off, it's coming straight for them. They're confused because they're found unworthy of being in your energy. It could be that they're found unworthy of... it could be whatever this thing that has been serving them has decided that they're unworthy of being served. Because they see their true colors now. This person is confused because they've been wearing your energy for a long time, pretending to be you. But you came out here and you sang. And it's like, that's what I heard. I heard a masculine said, we'll know when she sings. So it's like this person is singing, but the vibrato, the quality of the voice, the vibrations that emanate from the heart and the solar plexus when you sing, it's your soul song. It's your soul signature. And when this fraud tries to sing, no matter how great of a copycat they are, it won't be the same song. They see you. You've escaped the devil family because they see you. And this beast is coming straight for whatever this phantom thing is that they called up out of the boogeyman book is coming straight for them because their true colors are seen. They're not seen as you. It's obvious. It's obvious. So sing. Sing. Let them hear your soul song and know who you really are. Sing. Even if people say you cannot hold a tune, sing. Let your soul song free. It feels so good. You know, when I used to sing competition, I would always be I used to sing in this machine and you would have to hold the note real steady. And if you got off even a little bit, it would waver back and forth. My instructor had me do those voice exercises all the time. Nowadays, I don't really care if I hold my note right on key, and I don't really care if my voice cracks, and I don't really care if I sing the high notes badly anymore. I just don't. I sing, sing, sing. It's wonderful. podcast. There's an announcement. There's an announcement. They're confused. They've been found unworthy. It has been announced. This Empress in the reverse is being let go. They don't want to let go, but their true colors are seen. And this monster is coming straight for them because you sang your song, and it's obvious that their song does not match yours. You're the angel. You're the rose that they were feeding on. So they're panicked now. They are not able to calm down. They're freaking out. They're experiencing some karmic lesson with the deep. Their boat isn't big enough. They are in some deep, deep waters regarding this passion project. They put out a lot of sexual energy, a lot of spell work with this stuff. Billionaire. 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 So passion, billionaire, chemistry, billionaire. Are you hoarding wealth to fuel your king or queen baby dreams? Do not pass go. Do not collect $1 million. Don't even go to jail or pay taxes. Think about doing some good and using your hoard to end world hunger already. So they were using sex to get money, and they were hoarding it. They were most likely using the roses that had been bound and were being fed upon by this vampire whose preferred weapon of war is relationship, meaning intimate encounters. Drawing out that energy to gain the money. So 5 of Swords here, theft. The truth is out about this bully. They could have been defeated. The King of Cups, the actual divine masculine, heard your soul song, and here's your prayers, singing praise, whatever it is you're doing, because that's what it says. It could be that you're singing into an actual microphone, whether you got karaoke or whether you're an actual singer. We've got sing. You're singing your soul song, and they hear it. This copycat cannot match your soul song. It just doesn't match. No matter how hard they try, the energetic signature coming from your soul will never match who is wearing your energy. It just won't. So they're losing their status of privilege. Their values were all about money, and your values are far too different. You've escaped the devil family, singing your soul song, because it is obvious that they're not you. Their true colors are being seen. As soon as they opened their mouth to try to sing your song, everybody knew. And the thing is coming for them because that's what it's coded to. They've been found unworthy and they're confused. Fashion witch. This fashion witch came up against a legend. This troll was out there love bombing and gaslighting empaths, those who were, beautiful, sensitive, musical soul songs. The empath unicorn is getting that. So they were, what they were doing? They were love bombing and gaslighting empaths, and they have to give these unicorns their land back, their land, their earth, their home. The sons and the daughters of Eden are getting their home back. They've got the rainbow covenant with God. They took very good care of themselves. And now this cult leader who is doing the very least to get the very most has to go take care of themselves. Because you're telling this jealous narcissist to go F themselves. You don't have to serve them. They've been treating you like a freaking carpet on the outside on a wet, muddy day. Everybody's coming in, wiping their damn feet on you. This simp thinks you're a bitch for telling them to stay in their own damn lane. You don't want to have anything to do with them. It's been centuries that these feral ones have been consuming the rose, the apple of the tree of the sun. Yeah, and they were warned not to do that. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. It's good news, ladies. Sing your song, because it is setting you free from the binding of this vampire. These reverse queens and empresses and such, they cannot match your soul song. And your soul is connected to God with the silver cord. So when you sing your soul song out loud and you start getting your vibratories going, your frequencies, you start emitting out those ripples, it's like you will be seen, you will be known, and anybody trying to pretend to be you just will be seen very clearly. Their true colors. And, you know, if you feel the need to do it in the shower, if you feel the need to go out in the middle of the forest and do it, or just do it in your car, do it. Sing that soul song. Let your soul be known by God. Communicate without distraction. All right, family. See you on the next one. Peace out.